What if you could build an app that makes $17,000 a month without writing a single line of code? Sounds impossible, right? Well, today we're going to break down the exact playbook of an 18-year-old who did just that.
Okay, so let's just dive right into the big question. How in the world can a freshman in college, literally working from his dorm room, launch an app that's pulling in that kind of cash? The answer, and this is the cool part, is a lot more accessible than you'd think.
And let's be super clear about this number. We're not talking about a one-time viral spike. This is $17,000 in monthly recurring revenue. That's a real, stable business built on thousands of people paying for subscriptions every single month and year. And here's the part that just blows my mind. This speed. This wasn't some year-long grind. No, it took him just 1 month, 30 days, from the idea popping into his head to being live on the Apple App Store. That's insane. But look, you gotta understand, this wasn't some lucky shot in the dark. It wasn't an overnight success. This whole thing was actually born from the ashes of a pretty painful failure.
Okay, so here's his journey. At just 15, he had this idea for an app that actually went viral before he even built it. I mean, 10,000 followers, tons of hype. But then reality hit. He spent a year and a half wrestling with bad development agencies. And when the app finally launched, crickets. He lost all his money. It got so bad he had to get a job at TJ Maxx just to recover. But that failure, it lit a fire under him. It created this relentless drive that he needed for his next big move.
So, how did he pull it off this time? Well, he didn't just wing it. He came up with this really specific 6-step process that he calls vibe coding to create his app, Wrestle AI.
And this is the exact framework he used. It's a super clear roadmap, right? From that first spark of an idea all the way through to planning for how he's going to scale this thing up in the future. All right, step 1. This is crucial. He says you have to build your entire idea around something he calls a gotcha moment. Now, this isn't just some cool feature. It's that one thing that's so awesome, it literally stops someone in their tracks while they're scrolling. For his app, Wrestle AI, that moment was the AI-powered video analysis of a wrestling match. You can just imagine how perfect that is for a quick TikTok or a reel. And check this out. This is the proof right here. It really shows you the power of having a unique idea. He launched 2 apps at basically the same time. Both got almost the exact same number of impressions on social media. We're talking nearly 2 million each. But the app with the novel gotcha moment, Wrestle AI, it got 17,000 downloads. The other, more generic app, 100. Just 100. The distribution was the same, but the unique idea made all the difference. Okay, let's jump to step 4, the onboarding. He was smart about this. He didn't try to reinvent the wheel. He literally just looked at what the top grossing apps were doing and copied their formula. It's a really strategic flow, right? First, you educate the user. Then you personalize the experience for them. Then you create a little bit of FOMO, show them what they're missing. And then, right before you show them the price, you let them try out that amazing gotcha moment feature. By the time they hit the paywall, they're way more likely to convert. Now, step 5 is all about not having to be an expert in everything. I love this. He hired a developer on Fiverr for just $250 to handle the really tricky stuff like payments and authentication. And his whole philosophy is that AI is this great equalizer. You can hire someone who's smart and motivated, and if they know how to use AI to learn, they can figure out how to do pretty much anything you need. Okay, so building the app is one thing, right? That's only half the battle. You still got to get users. So now we're going to get into the exact marketing playbook he used to drive all that growth and get to that $17,000 a month mark. And his entire marketing strategy, it really boils down to just one thing: influencers. And just like with the app itself, he's got a system. He broke the whole outreach process down into 5 simple, repeatable steps. So what's the secret to actually getting a response? It's all in the first 2 words of your DM. Think about it. Influencers get flooded with messages. If you want them to even open yours, you gotta lead with what they're looking for. Paid promo? It just cuts right through all the noise and gets straight to the point. All right, so when he actually gets an influencer on the phone to close the deal, he uses this very specific formula. He'll offer a small upfront payment, maybe 20 to 50% of the total, for a package of multiple videos. But here's the genius part. He includes a view guarantee based on a pretty standard cost per 1,000 views, or CPM. That means the influencer has to keep posting until they hit that agreed-upon view count. For him, it totally minimizes the financial risk. So, the big question, what did he actually use to build this thing? You're probably picturing some super complex, crazy expensive setup, right? Well, the tools he used are actually surprisingly accessible and honestly pretty cheap. This is it. This is his entire tech stack. He used a vibe coding platform called Rork, Superbase for the backend database, and OpenAI for that cool AI analysis. All in, the whole operation costs him about $125 a month to run a business that's pulling in over $17,000. I mean, that just shows you how low the barrier to entry has gotten. And his final piece of advice really just ties his whole story together perfectly. It comes right back to that resilience he learned from his first big failure when he was 16. The idea is, don't complain about having too much on your plate when you were praying just to eat. Embrace the hard stuff because overcoming those challenges, well, that's the whole point. That's the fun part. So let's recap what we've learned in this explainer. There are 3 huge takeaways here. First, having a powerful, unique gotcha moment idea is way, way more important than just having a big audience. Second, a systematic, repeatable approach to influencer marketing is a totally scalable way to grow your user base. And third, and maybe most importantly, AI-powered tools have made building a real revenue-generating business more accessible than it has ever been before. And that really just leaves us with one final question for you. If AI truly is this great equalizer, what's your version of Wrestle AI? What's that one unique problem in a niche inside and out that you could solve with one simple, super compelling gotcha moment feature?